So Jesus was the way. Okay, he was the only one able who really got into the fifth dimension. Buddha did, but they didn't. They was early. That's why Jesus had to learn from these masters, and he learned from a lot of masters, whether it's um, in Asia or in Africa with Egypt, these big empires. He learned from that culture because all these demons were sent here for a reason. They were sent here for a reason. There's no knowledge. No knowledge is bad. It's what you do with the knowledge. It's like no technology is bad. It's what you do with that knowledge, with that technology, with that weapon. Okay, the gun is bad because the only thing it can do is to kill a person. And whether its creation are diabolic or are made to destroy, it's still this entity using a person to design something that is destructive. So when you live in the fifth dimension, like Jesus, you will come up with the type of authenticity that is incomparable. In the fourth dimension, you learn how to master voice. That's why you see artists, um, be idolized like gods because they are waving powers beyond the physical, beyond using extreme like violence and fear. Because how power used to be used is through violence, um, through fear. That's the dark side of. And then you see artists. Today we have filmmakers. We have many avenues. Filming is not something tangible. It's images. It comes through appliances, technology, but at the basis, it's imagination. So, in the fourth dimension, we master imagination. We master this invisible realm. Okay, that's what we do in the fourth dimension. That's why you see people um, like celebrities have this kind of because to understand this is to understand that Jesus was the first celebrity ever who were just to speak to people, but a lot of people were coming to his meetings without being forced, without using force to say, "Come, I want to talk to you." It's just his aura, just that's a real power. And today you can see it, and it was just using voice. It was just using a message. Today we have speakers, we have preachers, we have men of God, we have musicians, and there is another level of fourth dimension power is how to create systems. System, you can't hold a system, but look at how people follow systems. You see, government systems, people working for this system out of maybe money, out of you know survival because they get money, but it's another form of slavery. That's why some musicians came and they used their voice to call it out, like Bob Marley, like Michael Jackson, um, and so many others. So it's to understand the fourth dimension. Now, many people are stuck in the fourth dimension. It means it's a kind of blend of um, darkness and light. Okay, but at the end of the day, there's still darkness. There's still uncontrolled darkness. Even in 5D, in 5D, there's darkness, but this darkness now works for you. You can command the darkness. You can command the evil to attack anybody. You can command this demon to attack anybody and anything. That's the reality of the fifth dimension. That's why Jesus was able to do what he did. That's why you will see pastors in the fourth dimension um, luring people, lusting people that they have powers when they don't have powers. All these things are staged, like many things. And when you start believing, that's how it works. So many in their debut, they are faking it. Okay, they are actually staging everything. So you understand that there are levels and different dimensions of things in this reality, and it goes to the 12th dimension we can attain in this reality. That means in the 12th, I don't know what you are able to do, bro. It might be mad. It might be mad. I hope I will get to the 12th in this incarnation. I really believe we are more than powerful than we can fathom. So Now about the fifth dimension I was talking about. The fifth dimension, when you understand the fourth, I hope you understand the fourth dimension. If you don't understand, I'm willing to come and teach people. So you can contact me to, you know, for speaking, gigs. I'm very available for this. Um, the fifth dimension is a different place. The darkness still exists, but the darkness works for you. Okay, the darkness works for you. Okay, for the holder, because you have mastered this. You have dominated. That's why it is what we say, we dominate in this existence. No principality have dominion over us. Okay, when you come to that realization, that divine realization, you are able to tame and direct the energy to everywhere. So these demons works for you. That's why if somebody attacks you spiritually, generally it goes back to them straight. You don't need to do anything. Okay. Now, if you are aware of what is happening, and at this stage you are aware, of course, I am aware of everything that is happening. Some people think I just do like I don't know, but I know everything what is happening. Even the bad eyes, the evil eyes, when it's targeted to me, I know, and I know I don't need to do anything. It goes back to it. I don't like people to suffer. That's why I don't do it intentionally. But still, spirit works like this. This is law. You can't send something. You have to know that powerful spiritual laws apply. It has to go somewhere. You know, energy never wastes, whether it's negative energy or positive energy, it never wastes. So if you send it, it has to go somewhere. So if you send black magic, voodoo, or whatever to me, no say I know you go call it. So I was talking about the fifth dimension. When you see Jesus, not like nobody before were doing miracle. We have the story of Moses. We have the story of Abraham. We have the story of Elisha. We have the story of many Asian. Not only we have in different culture, we have some people, some gods, Poseidon, Zeus, all this. Okay, these are stories that are actually portraying some truth. And if you see, it's like a cycle. Life is a cycle. It keeps repeating, almost the same story, almost the same story. Today we are expecting it again. Okay, that's why Jesus said, "I will come back." But this time, before Jesus, nobody was saying, "I was come," because these people were not conscious. From Jesus, that's where the consciousness were attained, the God consciousness that was at its purest form. Okay, in the fifth dimension. That's why the guy. And by the way, some scholars say Jesus was black. So no wonder that it might still the consciousness might still come back from Africa. That's why the future of the New Jerusalem is in Africa. Now you have to know that Jesus has democratized the Israelite. Not Israel is Israel, the God's people. Israel, and they know it. Israel is anybody, anywhere believing in Jesus. In, like I always say, it's not believing in Jesus because he died for your sin. It's believing that you have this kind of ability. You may believe in Allah, you may believe, but if you believe in Jesus, don't believe he died for me. Believe I am able to do this power. That's the message we need to teach today in the churches. We need to emphasize, we need to raise soldiers for these end times. But unfortunately, they will not do it because they are corrupted, they are compromised. They are dealing with the devil because of power, of control, of manipulation. I am a I'm not the victim because they are the victim. People, if you come after me, you are the victim. So, in that place of fifth dimension, Jesus was able to walk on water. This is defying the law of physics. None of these pastors are doing this. He was able to calm waters. I'm not saying they are supposed to do this, but what we see, they're trying to they're trying to, you know, portray themselves as imitating Jesus. Don't expect people to do the same thing as Jesus, please. People will carry Christ consciousness, but they will not do the same things. They will use what is actually is existing in this reality, in this dimension, because by now the sun has already broadcast a lot of different information, a lot of cosmic information, a lot of cosmic access to different kind of energies. So we are not expecting people to do the same miracle as Jesus. Okay, we may design things, we may create things, we may be waving things. That's why they say at the end of time, I will pour my spirit on all flesh. Everybody is able to prophesy. Everybody, everyone has the power to prophesy. And at this time, everyone has the power. So don't believe your pastor is doing much. You are doing it because you believe. You just outsource your power. You don't recognize your divinity. That's why I teach people how to recognize their divinity. And it's a process. It's not dangle. You work towards it. You train yourself. Okay? It's like when you learn anything, whether it's mechanics, whatever it is, you practice. You practice and you are aware of what experience life throws at you and the position, the because it's first in knowledge when you are spiritually. When you are, whether you are in the third dimension, the fourth, okay, you either in the third or the fourth. If you are a little bit creative, you supposed to know because so far you're supposed to know what the characteristics of the dimension. You will see any business doing, they're operating in the, you will see malls, um, um, manufacturing companies. They are manufacturing maybe in the food industry, in the this kind of agriculture, this company, this type of company, they're operating in a third dimensional spectrum of creativity. It's not too much creative, but as you see how they design and all this, you understand now it's able to use technology to bring it together. So we have, you know, better result or whatever. Now, listen. In the fifth dimension, you need to be separated from all this. That's why Jesus said, "We are in this world. We are not part of this world." Okay, you have to separate yourself from this, not because you are um, you are better, but because you see the truth for what it is, and the truth sets you free from the systems. Okay, because you understand the idea before behind it. That's why I am. That's why I'm distancing myself now from a lot of environments and people.